So now the another property is hardness. Now to check whether different objects are soft or hard, we can perform an activity to see whether the objects are hard or soft. So what you can do, when you press different materials with your hands, some of them may be hard to compress, means some of them will get change in shape, while some will not get easily compressed, or it won't get its shape changed. So to do this activity you have to have different materials, like iron rod I have taken, then rubber is there, wood is there, and candle is there. Okay, then you take a metal key. Okay, I'm taking a cutter here. You take a metal key, do not take a cutter, and try to scratch with it the surface of different objects. Okay, so now what will happen, you take a metal key and then try to scratch the surface of the different objects, and then you will find certain things. Now see, here if I scratched a rubber, okay, we can see that it easily gets, okay, when I press this object, it changes its shape, right? It changes its shape and it is compressed, it is getting little bit of compressed. Then if I scratched on this, we can see that it can easily be scratched. Okay, the same thing I will do with the candle. Okay, it gets easily broken up, right? But if I do it with wood, okay, I won't be, even I do it with a cutter, okay, it can't be scratched easily, it can't be scratched easily. Okay, even I do it with the iron rod, it can't be scratched easily. So what does this mean? That when materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called as soft materials. Means the rubber and candles are the example of the soft materials, while the others which cannot get scratched or they cannot get compressed, they are the hard materials. That is, iron rod is hard, the wood is hard material. Now to find whether so cotton or sponge, they all are soft and the iron is hard. Now see, we in appearance we have learnt about different properties. Materials can have different properties, like luster, that is the shine. Okay, the shine, that is luster of the materials. Then what we have studied about the hardness, which objects are hard and which are soft materials. Then even this chalk is there, okay, which can be easily broken down, so that also are included into the soft materials. So we can also say that soft material, they does not allow they allow the change in the shape than anything to go into it or scratched over it, and it gets broken easily. While on the other hand, the hard materials, they do not change in the shape, they do not the shape doesn't get changed when they are compressed or pressed, and nothing can be passed through it, as it is the hard material, and you cannot break them easily, they cannot be easily scratched. Okay, so those are the properties of the hard materials and the soft materials. Now there are the objects which are having the rough property and they are having the smooth property. Okay, now here we can see a plastic roof is there, but when I will touch, it is having a rough, okay, because they are having bumps. Can you see these are having bumps? So these are included in the rough object. This is a rough object. While on the other hand, this is a smooth surface. Okay, when you will feel it, when you can take any utensils at your home and you can find which one is rough and which one is soft, which one is smooth. So we have studied about luster, hardness, rough and smooth properties in the appearance. So now the next property is of solubility, whether the objects are soluble in water or insoluble. So for that we should understand certain things. Okay, now here solid. Now we know that materials exist in three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. Now water, it can exist in all the three forms. When you keep the water in a tray in the fridge, okay, what will happen? It will convert into a solid form. So it will, when it is in a solid form, it will have a fixed shape, means definite shape and definite volume. Means definite shape means the shape will not change, okay, and definite volume means if you bring it outside, okay, this ice cube, you bring it outside and it will melt, so the volume of the water will not decrease or it won't get increased. Means what? It is having the fixed shape. Okay, so solid shape is having definite shape and definite volume. Now liquid, okay, it is having no definite shape. Means what? If I transfer this water from glass to bucket, okay, so what will happen? It will take the shape of a bucket. So it is not, liquid is not having definite shape, but it is having a definite volume. Means what? If I am having here 1 liter of water in glass, sorry, in 1 liter of water in a bucket, and I will transfer it to a pot, so it won't get decreased or increased, okay, the volume will remain the same. Now for gas, if you boil the water, it gets converted into gas form and it will evaporate. So what? It is not having, neither it is having definite shape nor it is having a definite volume. So to check the property of the solubility, different objects, whether they are soluble or insoluble, we have to take first the solid particles. Okay, so for that what we are going to do is to check the solubility of solid particles. Okay, I have taken here salt, sawdust, sand and sugar. Now whether these objects, they are soluble in water or not. So I have taken here 4 glasses. Okay, now I will do what? I will take some amount of salt. Okay, I will take a little amount of salt and then add it into the 1 glass. Okay, first I will add all the, then this is a sawdust. Okay, sawdust means the bhusa which we called, okay, by sawing the wood, the dust we get, okay, that is sawdust. With the help, we cut the wood with the help of a saw, that is a sawdust. So I will mix it into the another glass. Okay, I will mix it into another glass. Then the third is, which it is sand. So I will take little sand and then I will add it into the third glass where I have written sand. Okay, then use another spoon, okay, because the particles will get mixed into the water. Then sugar, I will take sugar and then I will add in 1, the 4th glass. Now in the salt, okay, I will stir it very well. So we'll keep this for 1 to 2 minutes and keep you can also do the same activity as I have done. Okay, so we'll keep it for 1 to 2 minutes and then we will check. See, now after proper stirring, okay, we will check whether the material, whether the objects have been disappeared completely or not. So we'll check first in salt. See, we can see here in the salt everything has been disappeared. Okay, we cannot see any particles of salt. Means what? This is soluble. Okay, disappeared completely can also be called as soluble. So salt is soluble in water. Okay, now here we take a sawdust. Okay, now we can see here many particles are there. It has not at all disappeared. Okay, we can see the particles. So it means that the objects which does not disappeared completely are insoluble in water, are insoluble. Now here the sugar is there. Okay, this was of sugar, we have to stir it well for. So here also we can see that we cannot that all the particles of the sugar has been disappeared, means they are, sugar is soluble in water. Now here sand is there, we can see that it has sank at the bottom of the water, and we can see the particles are still there. It has not completely disappeared, means sand is insoluble. Okay, so this we have checked about the solid particles, the solubility of the objects of solid particles. So what we conclude in this, that the substances, okay, we have noticed that some substances have completely disappeared, such as salt, sugar. Those have been completely disappeared, while so these substances are soluble in water. The other substances which do not mix with water and does not disappear even after the stirring, they are insoluble in water. So water, they plays an important role in functioning of our body, because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Okay, so water is the most important thing in our body, because when we eat food, okay, the energy, the nutrients are absorbed with the help of a water, and it gets converted to energy with the help of the water. So water is very much important, so you should drink plenty of water. Now this we have done with the solid, okay, with the solid particles. Now we will do it with the liquid, okay, with the liquid particles. Now do liquids also dissolve in water? So we have to collect samples, such as we can collect lemon juice, we can collect mustard oil, coconut oil, kerosene, vinegars, and then same activity which we have to follow. And so first what we'll do, I'll pour the glass with the water, okay, and I have taken here liquid, as coconut oil is liquid. So what I will do, I will take some amount of coconut oil and I will pour it into the water, as you can see. Okay, I will mix it, stir it well. Okay, I will stir it well. We will stir it for 1 to 2 minutes, and then we will check whether the particles will get dissolved or not. So we'll keep for 1 to 2 minutes. So you try it with different liquid material, that is vinegar, lemon juice, coconut oil, kerosene, and then what you see whether some liquids get completely mixed or not. So after that we can notice that some of the vinegar is there, then the lemon juice, they will get mixed easily in the water, while some of the materials, some of the substances, they do not get mixed with the water, and they will form a separate layer, as you can see over here. Okay, it will form a separate layer in the top of the okay, can you see it is not clearly visible because of the reflection of the light. Okay, so it will form a separate layer on the top. Okay, on the top it will form a separate layer of oil, because oil does not get mixed in water, and it appears in the form of a bubble forms. So this activity is also there in your textbook 4.4, solubility of common liquids in water. So you have to do this activity at your home, and then you have to find which liquids are soluble in water and which liquids are not. Now there are some gases also are soluble in water, whereas others are not. So water usually has small quantity of some gases dissolved in it. For example, oxygen gas is dissolved in water, which is very important for the survival of animals and plants that lives in water. Okay, means the plants are there inside the water, which are living in the water. The fishes, from where do they get oxygen? From the water itself, because oxygen is very much important for the survival of animals and plants. Okay, so oxygen itself is dissolved in water. So some gases are also soluble in water, and some other gases are insoluble in water. Now we are going to check the other property, that is object may float or sink in water. Now this is another property. So what you have to do, you take one glass and fill it half with water, and while doing activity 4 and 5, that is checking the solubility of different objects, we have noticed that some of the objects, they sunk at the bottom of the water, while some float. Okay, so which objects or substances are having the floating property or the sinking property? We can see it, okay, by the small activity. So here I have taken some of the examples, some of the materials. Okay, so we'll check one by one. So if I take the wood and drop it into water, what we can see that it is floating on the surface of the water, right? It is not going down, it is not sinking down. Okay, now I will do it with the rubber. Let's see, rubber. So suddenly it went down. Okay, suddenly it went down into the water. I'll do it with the plastic, the straw, the sketch pen's cap. Okay, that is plastic, so it is also floating. Now 1 rupee coin, so that also got sunk directly. It went down at the bottom. Okay, at the bottom it went. Then we'll take a chalk, slate pen is there, so it also sank. Then a wax candle is there, that is floating or not? Yes, that is floating. Means those substances which are floating on the surface of the water are lighter. Okay, the wood, plastic, wax, they are lighter material than water, and other rubber, coins, and the chalk, okay, those are heavier, so it directly got sunk into the water. Now you can also test the same materials to see if they float or sink in the other liquids like oil. So by you can rather than taking the water, you can also take oil, and then you can check whether these same materials are sinking or it's floating on the surface of the water. Okay, so this was one of the property to check. Okay, now we can see we have also seen that this was the sawdust. Okay, that is also we have seen the insolubility test, that also settled down. Okay, after a few minutes it settled down. Then the sand, also we have seen the sand, that also settled down in the water. So this was the property of the objects which may float or sink in water. Now we are going to discuss about the another property, that is transparency. So we can see this objects, that is transparent objects, opaque objects, translucent objects. So what are transparent, what are opaque, and what are translucent objects? So see, now when the substance, okay, or the substances or the materials through which we can see, okay, are called as what? Transparent objects. We have heard this many times. Okay, transparent objects. So the materials or the substances through which we can see. Now here I have collected a glass. Okay, we can see through it, right? We can see the book lining. Okay, when I keep my fingers inside, you can clearly see my fingers through the glass. Even I keep a sketch pen inside, we are able to see the sketch pen properly. Even my fingers at the back side can be seen. Means what? These are transparent. Even the box, plastic, it is made up of plastic, even we can see, that is also transparent. Okay, so we can say that the glass, then even water, when we pour the water inside, okay, when we pour the water inside, then we are able to observe through the water, because water is also transparent. Then air, some of the plastics are also the examples of the transparent materials. Then even the shopkeepers usually prefer to keep the biscuits, sweets, and other eatable in the transparent containers of glass or plastic, so that buyers can see them easily. Whenever we visit a shop, we can see that the sweets and all the things are kept in the plastic or the glass container, so that we can see easily. Now on the other hand, those materials through which we are able not to see, those materials are called as what? Opaque. Now this paper is there itself, okay, we cannot see anything through it, right? This is what? Opaque. Okay, so wood, cardboard, metals are example of the opaque material. So now we can group all these materials and objects without any confusion, that which are transparent objects and which are opaque. Even the book, cardboard, okay, that is opaque. So we can group this. The transparent object, you can give me example. Then opaque objects, you can give me example. Now what are translucent objects? Now for that we have to follow an activity. Okay, you can understand it well with the activity. Now see, you can take a sheet of a paper and look through it through a bulb, okay, towards a lighted bulb. Now here is a lighted bulb. Then let's see, this is a sheet of paper, but we cannot see anything through it. Okay, we are not able to see through it. But then what will happen? Then make a note of your observation. Put 2 to 3 drops of water. So okay, now I have dipped this as we were not able to see. Okay, so I have dipped this one end in the oil, and then see, are you able to see? We are able to see slightly, okay, not clearly, but we are able to see slightly. So as we have taken the sheet of the paper through which we are not able to see properly, but when I dipped it in the oil, okay, we are able to see, right? Transparent object we are able to see, but not more clearly. Okay, so those objects are called as what? They are called as translucent objects. So which are the example? We can say butter paper, oily paper are the examples of the translucent objects. Now so we can easily group the objects or materials into transparent objects, opaque objects, and translucent objects. Okay, now see, you can also try one thing. You can even try, okay, you can take a torch and then you cover, like this is a torch and here is the glass of the torch. Okay, so you can cover the glass of a torch with your palm at a dark place, or during the night time you can try, and then switch on the torch and then observe the other side of the palm. Okay, cover it and then observe the other side of the palm. Now check that whether your palm of your hand is transparent or translucent. So you can do this at night, okay, with the help of a torch and in the dark place. You try this and you tell me in the next class.